All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Next Time the Power. So this video is going to be a countdown of my top 5 biggest or freakiest bodybuilders that stopped competing. So coming in at number 5, we have a bodybuilder by the name of Craig Golias. Now, many of you guys might recognize Craig Golias from Instagram or his social media following, and he's very well known for his pictures where he out-angles people. But prior to becoming a social media star, he was actually a bodybuilder from 2007 to 2010. His best placing would be a second place finish at the NPC LA Championships, and he would place 16th at the NPC USAs in both 2009 and 2010. Now, he is one of the bigger bodybuilders on this list, standing 6 foot 3 inches tall and 310 pounds competition weight. So Craig has not competed in about 8 years and chose to focus on social media, having currently 253,000 followers on Instagram. So coming in at number 4, we have a bodybuilder named Trey Brewer. Now, during the height of his popularity, Trey Brewer was, kind of touted as the next big thing, the next Mr. Olympia. This was one of the bigger bodybuilders in the offseason, coming in at about 355 pounds in his offseason condition. He was sponsored by BSN, so a lot of you guys might remember him from being in all the Flex magazines and the BSN ads. And he really had a lot of momentum in the late 2000s towards about 2010-ish. But I think one of the reasons why Trey fell off is because he would cut over 100 pounds from his off-season condition to his stage weight. So as I said, he weighed 355 in the off-season, but his stage weight was about 242 pounds, standing at about 5'11". So I think undergoing a massive cut like that really hindered him from placing well. He would place 4th at the 2008 NPC Nationals, and that's where a lot of people really noticed him for the first time. And the expectation from that point was really set pretty high for him. Then the following year in 2009 at the NPC Nationals, he placed 8th, and then he never turned pro, retiring in 2010 to start his personal training business. So this guy is certainly one of those guys that a lot of people expected to not only turn pro, but be a major threat in the IFBB, and he never did, and he kind of retired before the peak of his career. Now, coming in at number 3, we have probably one of the freakiest and most well-known bodybuilders on this list, and that would be the late Rich Piana. So Rich Piana was the winner of the Mr. California competition, and his final competitive year as a bodybuilder would be in 2009, where he would win both the Sacramento Pro and the Border States Championships, placing first at both of those shows. And as a bodybuilder, standing at a height of 6'1", he weighed between 275 and 285 on stage. So not only was Rich Piana a massive social media character, having over 1 million followers on both his Instagram and on his YouTube channel, but he was also a pretty damn big bodybuilder and a pretty freaky bodybuilder at that, retiring in 2009. So he hadn't competed for almost 9 years at the time of his death in 2017 at the age of 46 years old. So rest in peace, Rich Piana. So coming in at number 2, this is probably the biggest bodybuilder on this list, and that would be Greg Kovacs. Having a competitive career that only spanned less than a decade, Greg Kovacs stood 6'4", 330 pounds in contest condition, and over 420 pounds in the offseason. And he's also known as being the first bodybuilder ever to weigh over 400 pounds. Now, Greg Kovacs is actually the only guy on this list that actually did get his pro card before retiring from bodybuilding, but his best placing as a pro would be 13th at the 2004 Arnold Classic. Most of the time, he would end up placing dead last at most of the pro shows that he did. So Greg retired from competitive bodybuilding in 2005 to pursue a coaching business, and he would pass away in 2013 at the age of 44 years old. So rest in peace, Greg Kovacs. Now, coming in at number 1, we have not the biggest, but probably the most promising of all the bodybuilders on this list, and that would be Big Victor Richards. He actually went by the nickname of Mr. Big, and who can forget in 1994 in Febo, Germany, the pose down, where Victor Richards chased Dorian Yates around the stage and basically outposed him, outsized him, outclassed him in almost every single pose. Now, Victor Richards stood at a height of 5'10", and he was over 310 pounds. And it is said that he was offered a pro card by Joe Weider, even though he never officially won a pro card. But Victor Richards never did compete as a pro. He only competed 5 times throughout 1982 and 1992. And he was really at his biggest at that 1994 Febo guest posing. So he hadn't even competed in 2 years by the time he got to that guest posing in Febo against Dorian Yates. And after winning that Nigerian championships in 1992, which again was not a pro show, we would never see him on a pro stage or any stage ever again. So Victor Richards was one of the guys that, everybody thought this guy could be Mr. Olympia. He was like one of the freakiest guys of the 90s, but we never saw him on stage. He just kind of went away, and he will always probably go down as one of the biggest what-ifs in bodybuilding history. What if he had competed as a pro? What kind of damage could he have done in those early 90s? So let me know what you guys thought of this list in the comment section below. Let me know if there's anybody you would add or subtract from that list. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.